Okay, so now it's September 6th, the next day, right? Still doing my power can, topping off. Okay, now I buy in multiples just because I'm topping off. I got my laundry going here. Amari keeps me really busy, people. You don't even know. Anyway, first we'll start with this calcium booster for animals, whether cats or dogs, ferrets, that kind of stuff. Just say. Every jar, I made 12 of them, sealed. Okay? Now, when I took them out of the canner, they were a little gritty. But that's to be expected, because what do we got in there? A whole bunch of bone bits. Right? But it didn't seem to, at this point, interfere with the sealing, sealing of the jar lid, right? Nothing's popped. They've been sitting here since I've done it, which is what, going on 2 days now? Right? We're into the second day. And for what it's worth, in a situation like this, it looks like it I don't know where all the liquid went, but it must have been absorbed by the bones. So in a situation like this, when I'd open it, well, you'd have to heat it up anyway, right? Just because you pressure can doesn't mean that you're not going to have botulism in the jar. It just means that there's less chance. So you'd have to heat this up anyway before you could either make bone soup for yourself or feed it to your animals. Obviously, if the jar pops, everything looking grody inside, and even if the jar pops and it doesn't look grody inside, I would still... Hey! What are you doing biting my ankle? Get out of here! He knows I got this. That's Mouser. You're biting my ankle. What the heck? He's playing. That's because he's a kitten. That's why. Go away! Get out of here! You're back at it. Okay. So, anyway. I don't even know what I was saying. I'm so tired. You don't even know. But I just chugging along. Now, whether I put a little extra water in there or not, I don't know. I think the bone and whatever maybe absorb the water. Either or, you'd have to put this in a pot, obviously with some water, bring it to a boil, put your lid on, turn down the heat, have that low, gentle boil, keep boiling on for at least 10 minutes, and then proceed to put it in with meat. So you go by a third. So you see this as 1/3 of 2/3 of meat, and that would suffice with your bones. It has a bit of fat in there. There's a few liver pieces and whatever was along the back of the bird, not the back, but the underbelly of the bird, where all the intestines are and stuff. So you got a little bit of everything in there. You got obviously bone marrow, the whole 9 yards. If the lid pops, and it looks okay inside, I'd still just bring it to a boil, do the 10 minutes, and then I would chuck it out. Okay, put it in a bag, chuck it out, and boil your jar. But if the jar doesn't pop, I wouldn't worry about it, people. In terms of the way it is right now, I would just put it in some water and do as I would for a human, and then proceed to add that amount to at least 2/3 of meat, along with whatever vitamins and taurine, and if you want to throw in another jar of, say, chicken liver or whatever it is that you're going to do, that I think will work out really good, right? Because times are, I think over the next 1 to 2 years, I think people are going to get a real rude awakening. I do. Whatever's going on is happening fast. I mean, of course, it's man-made, it's manufactured we've got major food chains either downsizing their stores by not bringing in enough product, or taking out aisles, or closing particular stores, right? As they're also turning away, this is more so in the States, but I believe that's happening out here with the various chains that are like Walmart, for example. We have Walmart in the United States and we have Walmart in Canada. So if Walmart is turning away deliveries in the United States, because there are stores out there that are being reported of turning away deliveries from trucks for whatever reason, then, you know, you can almost say that they're probably doing that out here, because there's too many gaps within the shelves themselves, as well as the selection is shrinking. Okay? So with that said, at the rate that we're going, because it seems to be going fast, faster than it was 2 years ago, it's just, you know, people haven't really wrapped their heads around it yet. I don't think so. You know, they're living in that bubble. You know, they're paying, they're either penny pinching as they're shopping, leaving things behind, not buying what they need, or they're buying what they want, what they need, and they're like Tisha, paying $2,400 a month for a $600 a week shop. Okay? Or they're like me, who like to buy in multiples of either 10, usually. Like when I do Walmart, you can go a maximum of 10, right? So I'm either ordering in 10s, or I do 5, but mostly I do in bulk of 10. If I'm at Canadian Superstore, I will do 25 per product or more, depending on what the product is, to the point where I myself personally feel I really don't need to buy any more canned peas for a long time. I really don't need to buy any canned soup, corned beef, that kind of stuff, right? Or whatever. Like, for example, I just bought now I don't normally buy I'll just give you an example. Now I don't normally buy great value products. I don't. I prefer brand names or a Del Monte or something like that. But in this situation, I did buy the coarse salt, white salt, from Walmart today. It doesn't have any iodine in it, although they do have table salt with iodine, and they have fine grain salt with iodine, to which, with my next order, I will probably buy 10 bags, just because. This I do not think has any iodine, but, you know, and I have other salt around the house. I namely have Himalayan salt. I have a fair amount of that, and I have that other sea salt that's has like more minerals and those kind of things. And I think I even have probably a few bags of organic salt, if there is such a thing. I've got tons of rocks, salt rocks, so I'll never run out of salt. And at one point in the past, I bought salt, Himalayan salt, that's in big block like this, with a hole through it with a string, for animals to lick on, because I wanted to do a craft project with Andre with that, you know, under that, you know, Andre's Walnut Art website. But that's for another day. So I ain't running out of salt anytime soon. But this is nicely coursed, and if I wanted to start salting meat or something like that, or, you know, it's just, who knows, needed to disinfect something. I stocked up on 10 of these. So that's what I mean by multiples. Now I also have, I know for a fact I have, I don't know where it is, but it's not, you know, with the panela sugar, with the magnesium, I like that better. Obviously maple sugar is nice, right? But, and we all know that apparently brown sugar is just molasses mixed in with white sugar. I have some of these kicking around the house in a bucket somewhere, or maybe in a jar or something. Maybe I already took them out of the bag and put them in a jar and got the jar put away somewhere, you know, those big 1 gallon jars. Anyway, I picked up 10 of these because, you know, I'm going to be making sticky cinnamon buns with Andre and that kind of stuff. So whether I do half and half this with half panela to stretch out the panela, because obviously that's more expensive, or with the maple, either or, right? Just saying. And then I've been scooping up on icing sugar, which again, I have icing sugar. I think it's in my pantry over there, right? But I picked up 10 more, and they're kind of expensive. They were like, what, $3.49, $3.97, something like that per that size bag. And I got a different one that I actually wanted to try, so hold on a minute. So yeah, you know, sometimes you make those cinnamon buns, you want the icing sugar, okay? So, you know, with things disappearing off the shelves, you might want to consider just topping off with these kind of miscellaneous things that you tend to take for granted, right? Because not every store has them. You see, that's the thing. So this is your standard Rogers icing sugar. I think that's 1 key, which has cornstarch in it as a means to, yeah, it's 1 key, right? 1,000 grams, okay? For like $3 and some odd cents. Where this one's 500 grams. A different kind. I only bought 1, but I bought 10 of these or something like that. And I know I've got around the house, right? But for now, this one's 500 grams because up here it says 100%, right? Colombian cane sugar, but I couldn't see the ingredients when I was buying it. So I've only bought the 1. And the little buggers, they did put an anti-caking agent in it, and it's called, there we go, look at that, my nose starting to run. See, touching things. This shit comes in with something. I'm telling you. I don't know if it's from other people touching it, and they're shedding, or what. I just know that my nose is starting to run. Isn't that something? Anyway, Casavana or something, sugar, anti-caking agent, Casavana, cassava starch versus cornstarch. But only 500 grams. So I don't know. This one was more expensive. You don't get as much, but I wanted to try it. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I lost the glasses that I had here that I was just using, which are kind of better for my eyes. These eye drops are like, you don't even know. They're just wigging out my eyes. Anyway, not that I can see any better with these things on, but alright, so now Yeah, I can't see. I don't know, something in here. Hold on a minute. I just push past this shit, you know. That's all I can do. Okay, so in the meantime, so because you know I'm putting that on, right, and I'm just topping off a little here and a little there, just so, because I don't want to be messing with this time next year. Outside of, I used up something over the next 8 months because Andre and I are eating cinnamon buns every week, and you know I run out of icing sugar. I can only hope that there will be icing sugar next year. Otherwise, I'll be good for a while, right? Because once I clear out everything and we start, you know, we don't know. Because Andre actually does like to come in here and try and do things, okay? I mean, he's limited with what he can do at this point. But the more he learns, I think once he discovers how to make bread dough for cinnamon buns and realize how easy it is to make, then I could see him trying to do it for himself. It's just a matter of walking him through it for the first few times, right? To which, you know, oh sure, knock everything down. I do have some of these kicking around the house as well, from back in the day, even as far back as 2011, that have not been opened and are in a cool, dark place. To which, if I had to say whether it was good or not, I would say it still is. It's when you open them and leave them in your cupboard that kind of takes away from their viability. If you open them, put them in the fridge, they tend to last longer, but because I'm always so busy, I don't even really get a chance to use the way I'd like to be able to use it. So in other words, I've got a jar that's been sitting in my fridge for well over a year, who knows how long, that was opened, that it sat in storage for quite a few years, that when I opened it was really good and was working great. But then, of course, I got busy with other things, went in the fridge. So after everything's cleared out and we start using it for bread dough or cinnamon buns or whatever, I'll let you know. I'll let you know how viable it is. Outside of that, I bought 5 of these. That was the only size I could find. They only had the one. This was at Walmart. And it's instant yeast. So, of course, I'm going to be shopping around now for regular yeast just to top off what I already have that's older that may or may not work. And I won't know that until I open it. First I have to find it. And I ain't sweating it. So I got 5 of these anyway. But I want more. But I'm going to look in a different store. And then as I put things away, I will come across my older ones. And of course, I will try and use those ones first. And more than likely, they will be okay because they've never been opened. And they're like, I like to put them in cans. You know, the big old cookie cans, because the cans bring the moisture, and like not the moisture, but they retain the cold, right? The cold air, because they're metal, right? So the jars themselves are like insulated with inside the can, which helps to preserve the yeast. Okay. So I need a few more of those and regular yeast. Preferably the larger. Right? Now, I mean, we all know that sourdough requires no yeast unless you want to use yeast, because you can make sourdough bread just by creating your own sourdough starter with it sitting out in the air, right, basically with a little cloth over top so that the yeast can go, air from the yeast within the air can get in and create your starter, right? But I also like to use this stuff. And I have some big block that's vacuum sealed up in that cupboard that's been there for eons. Should be interesting to see if that's still viable. But, see, I'm smelling something here. But, being that Walmart only carries this one, at least online. That's all they had. You know, that's a warning sign, people. I mean, the cost of bread is going up. They're easing in the filler with the cricket flour to supplement something in the bread. Whether they're letting the public know or not, I don't know. I just know that they can put in 1/3 of cricket flour in bread and people won't taste it. Are they using the cricket flour to supplement what? Flour? What is it that they're supplementing? I don't know. Shortening? You don't use a lot of shortening in bread or lard or anything, right? Milk? I don't know. Anyway, now I have sardines over there, sardines under there, but I like sardines, and when I'm working hard, doing whatever, I will satisfy myself with a sardine sandwich at the end of the night with a whole bunch of onions and mayonnaise. Right? That will be my dinner for the day kind of thing. You know, like when I'm working in the yard and doing that kind of stuff, I won't eat unless somebody feeds me something. There's nobody around to feed me anything anymore. Really, not like the good old days. So if I'm outside working, doing whatever I'm doing, after it's all said and done, I'll just make myself open up a can of sardines and make myself a sardine and onion sandwich with mayonnaise, and that's my meal for the day. Okay? So I'm looking to maybe, top off with the sardines, even though I know I have some in the house, only because that's something that when I get on that kick, I can go through a stack of sardines like within 2-3 weeks, just myself. And of course I try and give to Amari as well, right? And I haven't really been buying them. Well, I haven't been since the last time I bought them, and I bought like a whole bunch. Like I bought a whole bunch, and I know for a fact I stuck a whole bunch in that cupboard way in the back where it's nice and cool. And they've been sitting there for probably 2-3 years, right? So at some point in the next 6 months or whatever, I'll probably pull them out and then buy a whole bunch more. But you're looking at $2 or so, anywhere from $1.87 to $1.97 per can now, right? And if you buy, a whole thing, times 2 or 3, it adds up. So I didn't want to go off and do that. So what I did is I thought I'd try something different. And this is why I'm putting on the video. Instead of buying your regular 130 grams or whatever it is of sardines for $1.87 in water or $1.97 in soya oil, which I actually prefer. I prefer it in the oil over the water, so you're paying an extra 10 cents for the soya oil. Right? I thought I'd try this for 2 reasons. One, it has the jar with a lug lid. So I can probably recan in this jar after it's said and done. And I know how expensive these jars with lug lids are because I have a whole bunch in my bedroom that I haven't even used yet. Because I wanted to make my own salsa sauce and I want to can that other stuff and those little things. Okay, whatever. So I thought, okay, well, we'll try this out. It was expensive though. But it was more product. It doesn't look like it though. Look how small that is. It was 220 grams compared to 130 grams. So for $2 you get 130 grams, right? Approximately. And for $5.57 you get, I'm pretty sure it's 220 grams of sardines that are canned with olive oil. So that's the better oil. And you get more for your money. Not more for your money, but you get more fish in your container, to which you can repurpose this jar to some degree or another. Whether you can can with it remains to be seen, but you probably can. It would be a water bath, right? You wouldn't put it in a pressure canner, eh? I don't think so. Yeah, 220 grams. So you get 90 more grams compared to the pull tab, you know, of the other sardine that's canned in just soya oil. And here they kind of spiced up the stuff. So I bought I think 5 of these, or 10. I don't remember. 10. I bought 10. Because you can do multiples. Oh my god. Oh, I'm doing laundry too. But this stuff, it comes in with this stuff. I'm so sensitive to this stuff these days. Ever since this yard, you don't even know. And people shedding their shit, right? Anyway, I just push past it. So yeah, 220 grams. Okay, so you get 90 more grams for $5.57 versus $1.98 for 130 grams. I'm pretty sure it's about 130 grams. So you're only spending a few dollars more, but you get the olive oil, right? You get the olive oil in it, and this is preserved better, in my opinion, than those pull tabs. So that's why I wanted to try it, because those ones that I have underneath my cupboard, they're all pull tabs now, right? And I know they've been sitting there for, oh my god, probably 2, 3, maybe 4 years, maybe. But it's time to bring them out, check them. Chances are they'll be good. I've got some in my bedroom, right? And then, yeah, I'll just start eating them. And then I'll go off and buy a whole bunch more cans, spend the $50 or whatever it is, and put it back, new ones, right? Or maybe I'll go this route, because then I don't have to worry so much, right? With leakage or any of that. It's in a jar. Depends. Depends on what it tastes like, right? Or, because I'm looking and I'm pricing things out, and I'm looking for the better deal, and I'm trying to figure out. Anyway, I see sardines for where is it? $4.57 for 750 grams. And I'm like, oh, well, that's even a better deal. Like, what kind of product is this? How is it canned up? Well, it turns out it's not canned up. It turns out it is frozen. Frozen fish. Yeah. These are frozen sardines. Real fish. 750 grams. That's a lot of sardines, people, in one little bag. I bought 5 bags because that's all you were allowed. And guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm canning them up. Yeah. I'm canning them up with a tablespoon of olive oil per jar. I'm probably going to put them in 500 ml wide mouth jars. Okay. Do these things have heads on them? They might even have heads on them. Oh, they do. They got heads on them. Some people can them with their heads right in the jar, but I think in my situation with the cats, I think I'm going to cut off the heads and I'm going to can them in this size jar with just straight up water, and then that will be basically cat food. Or if times get real tough, it will be human food for soup. I'm just saying. I don't eat fish heads. People do, but I don't.
Do you think they have the what now?
Oh, they have the heads on them. I'm trying to save money on buying sardines, and I thought I'd try and can my own first and just see if I like it, because I get more for my money.
You bought that from TNT.
No, I actually got this one from Walmart.
Oh.
But it seems pretty good. So anyway, I don't know if I have to descale these things, whatever. So anyway, they're frozen, so I'm going to let them unthaw in the fridge. And then tomorrow, more than likely, I will wash them. I'm hoping they're gutted. I don't even know, people. Descale them, do whatever. And then I guess you put them in a salt water brine, 1 gallon of water to, I can't remember how much salt. You let them soak for 1 to 4 hours, and then after you put them in this size jar. This is a little bigger. This is something that I made a long time ago. Whole pickled beets, allspice, 2018. Because I'm getting into my cupboards, right? I have some in my bedroom as well. And I pulled this out because I'm putting away, taking out the old stuff, putting in the new stuff, and just whatever, right? Anyway, I just pulled that out because I don't have anything in there. So anyway, I don't know what 5 bags at 750 grams, mils, is going to get me in terms of how many jars without heads. But that's what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking, well, I can probably do 2 different kinds. I can just do salt with olive oil. And then I wanted to try a little bit of liquid smoke with a bit of salt, I suppose. 750 mils, right? I can't see. 750 grams, sorry. So it will probably be 2.5 jars per bag. 5 bags. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then, of course, we'll get some cat food. And I got some liquid smoke here. I seen it. Where did it go? Now I need it. It's been on my counter forever. Where did it go? Isn't that just go figure, right? I have some in my room, but I don't see it here, Andre. What happened to it? Oh, this makes me mad. Losing my knife. I can't find my knife. I can't find the bottom of my pressure canner. The ones that I like to use. Even though I was just using it 2 days ago. I had the liquid smoke here. I've been looking at it. And now I don't see it. Oh boy. What happened to my liquid smoke that was here?
I don't know.
It's a little bottle.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it doesn't up and disappear. I didn't go nowhere with it. I've been looking at it for like 2 months. Isn't that the way it works, though? Right. I'll find it. Hold on.
Why is there basil salt here?
Okay, so I'm going to have to work on this. I found it. Now I'm just Googling, right? Because I don't know how much, right? Now, I did read that if you're going to use liquid smoke, it's 1 part to 8 parts water. And then this way it's not too overpowering. So 1 tablespoon to 8 parts of water. Now, 8 tablespoons, okay, I don't know. Anyway, I will figure it out, and you know, if you're gonna like do this with salmon or something, 2 pounds of salmon, you know, 1 to 2 tablespoons of this with some sugar and a little salt, and you let it sit for a while and marinate and all this other stuff. So whether I do that with these fish, I don't know. And if you use olive oil, if you're canning sardines, apparently when you can fish, you don't lose the omega-3s, right? You don't lose it if you can it in water. But if you introduce olive oil into your canned fish, the omega-3 from the fish will leach into the olive oil, and if you throw out the liquid, you lose it. Now, if I open up a can of sardines, I eat the sardines and I drink the juice. And I normally buy the one with the soya oil because I like that the best. So in that situation, I wouldn't be losing any omega-3 from that, right? So let's just say, and I might can some of this sardines in this size. I might try just as, not just heads, but as the fish itself, right? Because I like these size jars. So we've got the olive oil in there, whether salted or whatever, or with the smoke and maybe a bit of brown sugar. I don't know. You top it off with water. When you open, obviously you can't eat. That's the problem with the home canning. You have to heat it up. You don't have a choice. Well, you do. People do eat, but they're putting themselves at risk. So in this situation, I'd have to warm it up with the liquid, right? Do whatever. I would probably still drink the juice. Or I could take the juice and open up a can of salmon and mix it in with salmon. Or take that juice and mix it in with, instead of using like mashed potatoes and beans, let's say I wanted to make a salmon burger with potato, right? You know, you could take that, or whatever, right? You can take the juice and pour. Okay, you get my point. The point is, we want to make our money stretch, and we're looking for foods that are basically high in nutrition and calories. So we know that if we can it, we're not losing the omega-3s if we just use water. But if we add oil, we're going to lose a bit. But if we consume the liquid after the fact of heating it up and doing whatever, we're not losing anything when it comes to those nutrients, right? Now, in terms of calories, I didn't really look at the calories because I was just more like looking at the sardines. So per 100 grams, which probably isn't very much, because this is 750 grams. So there's I don't know how many pieces of fish in there, but there's maybe 9 or so, maybe 10. You get 160 grams, 180 grams per 100 grams of fish. But of course, I ain't in the mood to be eating fish heads. So I'm going to cut off the fish heads and probably give that to the cats. Unless things get real tough. And I could add in panela sugar, which would add in the magnesium. Or I could even do the maple sugar with the smoke. Right? A little bit of black pepper. So that's what I'm going to do with a little bit of oil. Right? You only use about a tablespoon. You don't can it in oil. Now, I don't know if this is canned in oil and only oil, or if there's water and oil in it. I just know that there's olive oil in it. I don't remember reading water. Either or. If I like it, I'll buy more. And because it's in a jar, it's going to last a long, long, long time. It will outlast me. Let's just put it that way. And then, so we got 10 of those. We got 5 of those. I'm going to can it up if I like it. Went pretty smooth. I'll do it again. And then at some point, I'll dig out those ones and then go off and buy and whatever. But that's not now. I'm looking for the better deal. So I'm willing to go out of my way and try and can it for myself. And then because I want to get into making rice puddings and those kind of things, mainly for Amari, right? I'm stocking up on this. To which is actually quite high in calories as well. So, for 1 tablespoon of this is 70 calories. This is good. I could put this into a lot of Amari's foods as I'm going about my day. Open a can and it'll probably stay in the fridge for quite a few days. I don't necessarily have to just make rice pudding with it. And it's pretty simple in terms of ingredients, right? And it's anyway, I can't really see it, right? It's hard for me to read, but it has vitamin A and stuff like that. So the Lucky, I could buy 10, which was at $3.97 in bulk of 10 from Walmart. Where this brand, Eagle, I could only buy 5 at one time, but I already bought 10 of this brand from Canadian Superstore. And if I wanted to, I could have popped in 25 cans through Canadian Superstore. I'm not done yet buying this stuff. The only problem with this stuff, though, is, look. So I got lots of brand new nail polish, to which at some point I may just seal the seams of these cans, because I don't want to worry about this in a year and a half from now if I'm in a routine of using it regularly with rice pudding or just using it as a supplement while with Amari's meals or whatever else I may make. Okay? I'm just saying. And it's high in calories, 70 calories per tablespoon, and it's made with milk products, and it has pretty good vitamins. Vitamin C, 9%, 0%. Vitamin A, this one's 2%, this one's 4%. That is the President Choice. I have the Eagle one over there. I don't know what that one is, but this one's Lucky brand. 4% calcium, potassium, 2%. Okay. So this is a good product to stock up on if you drink milk. Right? And then, of course, I got some extra, where is it? I don't see it now. Oh, Lord. I'm still stocking up on this stuff. For the calories and for the B vitamins and whatnot, right? Here, 2 tablespoons of this by itself gives you 130 calories. Okay, that's why I buy it. Only 2 tablespoons. And we know liver gives the B vitamins. They don't list everything. They only list some things. Here they've got 10% iron, and 3% potassium, but it definitely has the B vitamins in it because it's liver, right? What are the ingredients in it? It says beef liver, water, beef rendered beef fat, modified cornstarch, sugar, salt, sodium something, and monosodium glutamate spices. But we also have well, here we go. We also have straight up chicken liver, which I would eat. I'd eat this, people. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to try it. If I like it, I'm going to make more. Well, this one says chicken hearts. I would eat that too. I'd open up the jar. There's probably liver in there as well. Yeah, chicken hearts and liver. Well, there's gizzards in there. I don't eat gizzards, and I didn't clean the gizzards because I was just making cat food. But I've got just jars with straight up liver in it, okay? I would open up the jar. This is the way I would do it. I would open up the jar of either chicken hearts, chicken liver, or a combination of both. I don't like gizzards. The cat's going to have the gizzards. I'd have to be pretty hungry before I eat the gizzards. And then, for sure, I'd put it in a pot, bring it to a boil, do everything I need to do, turn it down, let it cool, and then if I wanted it fried after the fact with onions and all that crap, I'd strain the liver, keep the juice, make gravy with the juice. This is the way I would do it. And then I'd chop up a whole bunch of little onions. After my liver was drained, I'd egg it up, I'd flour it, I'd season it, I'd saute my onions, take my onions out of the frying pan, and then I would just quickly brown my liver because it's already been cooked, just to cook the egg on the outside with the flour or crackers or whatever. And I'd be chowing down. People, and I'd be like, so good. And I'd be making gravy with my mashed potatoes. So good. And I don't eat pork liver, but if I was hungry, I would. And definitely, I got beef liver, and I'd do the same thing with the beef liver, okay? So you don't have to buy it in a can, like I just showed you. I'm just saying. Right? I do that for convenience and for the calorie count. That's why, and for the nutrients of the product itself. But the more you can do this, the better off you are. That's why I'm going to be canning sardines. That's what this video is about. I don't care what people got to say. Right. The only big issue for me now, after all these years, is just getting it more organized, more accessible, where I know where it is when I want it.
I think Mark Hain's home. I'm gonna go see.
Huh?
I think Mark Hain's home. I'm gonna go see.
Yeah, and Andre twisted his foot, so I'm having to do everything now by myself.
Yeah, he's home.
I gotta go to the apple tree by myself because I'm not gonna let those apples just go to waste. So I'll be walking off with the stroller to go get apples by myself because Andre can't really walk right now. He was running around outside with his friends. I'm supposed to be canning apples, but I'm rebelling. This is my way of rebelling. Right.
Shoes. Don't want to get the sound dirty.
But there's going to come a time where I just won't need to do this, and that's right. I'm at that point pretty much. Like I said, I'm just topping off with a few things that I know for a fact that once I get going, I'm going to want this regularly. And I don't want to be stressing out in 7 months from now and can't find it in the stupid grocery store because our stupid politicians are failing the general public and trying to, you know, follow up on some freaking depopulation agenda as they bring in the immigrants to overtake the country. Yeah, you're trying to depopulate the planet as you're flooding countries like mine, Canada, turning it into the new Congo because families like mine, well, we know what happens, right? Okay, I don't want to talk about that. So I'll put that in the fridge and I will deal with those tomorrow. And I will continue with my laundry for a little bit. And I gotta label up these jars, get them off the counter so I can get onto some apples, and I'm gonna do apples with mango. But I'm really tired because I'm pushing hard on things, and these eye drops, like, I couldn't go to the eye doctor. I had to cancel the appointment because Amari's been...
And also we had a package come yesterday.
No, it's because of the pooing situation.
And also a package came.
That was such a small package. I wasn't worried about that. It was the pooing.
Oh.
He can't sit in a stroller for any length of time if he's got to poo, right?
Yeah.
It's bad enough it takes 3 or 4 days sometimes to... Right? The last thing you want to do is keep it up there. So... But soon enough I'll go, and it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter anyway. There's nothing this dude can do for me any more than what he's doing, and he's not making me feel very good because too much of these eye drops just not good for me. Not in the least little bit. So yeah, maybe you might want to go shopping for some fresh frozen sardines. Okay, so 10 of these. Right? Ten of these. Right? 5 of these. Right? 5 of the 750 grams of frozen sardines. 5, because you could only buy 5 at a time, of the instant yeast. 1 bag of that icing sugar that I just wanted to try out. I got 10 bags of the coarse salt for 97 cents a bag. And that's for like an emergency and stuff like that. Can you hold on a minute? And then my next order will be another 10 bags of that great value salt, which is 97 cents a bag or so, I think, with the table salt with iodized. But apparently the iodized isn't really, you know, but either or, I'll probably buy 10 of those. Either or, for this one it was just the coarse salt with no iodine in it, nothing iodized or whatever, at 97 cents a bag. And then I bought 10 little tomato paste, Hunt's tomato paste, at 97 cents a can. And what else did I get? That was it. You want to know how much that all came up to? It cost me $10 for the delivery. I did a $10 tip. $245. Just saying. It's the way they're pricing things, that's why. But after it's all said and done, right? In a couple of months when it's all put away and you know, I got my wood cutting board here and my juicer, and we're doing whatever we're doing. my grocery bill will more than likely go down to just a couple $100 a month. Now, mind you, I have to pay on my credit cards, but at the end of the day, I know this stuff is in the house, whether it's from 2011 or 2000 and we'll say 15 or maybe 2018 or in 2023. Chances are, if the jar is unopened, they're probably all still good when it comes to yeast. But just to be sure, I thought I'd pick up a few more. Because it won't be long before we're going to be making our own doughs. Whether it's sourdough with a sourdough starter that requires really no yeast, although you can start a sourdough starter with yeast. Either or. Definitely going to be making sticky buns and those kind of things. Right? So this little box, if you see, look how nice it fits everything in there. Those are the sardines. And I could run. I keep the tomato cans separate, just in case. You never know, right? Might leach out. I left myself one out, and I will try it. If I like it, I'll buy more. If I don't like it, I'll never buy it again. And I'll just stick with those pull tabs, Brunswick or whatever. Or if I like what I do, which we'll find out sooner or later, then yeah, I'd go maybe this route. Because you definitely will get more for your money if you can. It's just you got to figure out what you want. But yeah, for $245, when you're buying that kind of stuff, you don't really get a lot. Right? But I'm at the point where it's kind of like with the wheat and the beans and those kind of things. There's not much left that I need. And if I am buying, only because of the calorie count, the nutritional value, and the diversity of the product, and what would work well for Amari. Because for some people, even milk is becoming in short supply, especially in the States. Not so much out here yet. Now I just recently bought new fresh powder milk from Winnipeg, and I bought packets of chocolate milk and packets of whole milk, and I got them already pre-packaged in Mylar bags versus buying the big bag and me having to do everything myself. So after this is all cleared out, what's going to end up happening is I'll bring up one of my jars with my whole milk or whatever, open up a new bag, combine the two together, assuming that the jar is fine, and then I won't even have to buy milk, people. And apparently with the powder milk, I can even make with the whole powder milk, I can even make condensed sweet milk. I can. I don't know how yet, but you can do it. They have a recipe on their website for that. But sometimes this this I can open, and I'm actually curious to taste to see what it tastes like. Yeah. So I will turn this off, and I'll come back with the sardines, and when I'm working with the sardines, that's when I'll follow up on the video. And then when I'm finished with the sardines, that's when I'll upload the video. Yeah. See? These ones in the sink, I'm going to be doing. These ones here, I washed them and I'm drying them. And I'm putting them downstairs with the other ones that I have. Because if I have them in the fridge, it gives me more time to work with them. So hold on. Okay, doing apples. But I'm mad! What's new, man? Like, seriously.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know what. I just don't know people.
Like, I love Rob to death. One of my best friends worked like 8
My kids take me for granted. Yep, they do.
That's at jonescrowder.com right now. The whole global.
Or we've got Julian's sister busting into the house and raiding the fridge of bologna. I wouldn't be surprised. Because Freddie told me she likes to climb through windows because she was climbing through his bedroom window or whatever window to go sneak around in his room after he kicked her out of his bed. I'm just saying. And I told Andre, when somebody crawls through windows, you think they only crawl through one? Hell no. No. It's not in their character just to crawl through one, right? Anyway, you know how I like to buy things on sale, right? Well, I ended up buying bologna a long time ago, right? Now, I know my son has been going down into Auntie Shemay's room and taking food and here and there, right? I know it, right? He doesn't tell me, though. You see, that's the thing, because he takes it for granted. He should say, oh, gee, Mom, you know, I was in the room there and, you know, I took a jar of this or a can of that, or just so you know, so there's no surprises when you go looking for it and it's not there. Yeah. So I was putting apples away, right? Because, you know, if they're in the fridge, it buys me more time to work with them. The ones that rot, I don't care because it's going out into different areas of the yard, into planter pots or whatever, or I'm going to make compost. So it's not. Anyway, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's jealous of Andre, right? Because I tell him this is Andre's food. And when I'm at him, this is Andre's food. Go away from me. Leave me alone. So what does he do in the last 2 days? He takes the bologna that's been in the freezer for the last, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, because, you know, when I was out with Andre, when I went for my eye appointment, I bought them on sale. And they're actually quite expensive. And anyway, you know, we had that little argument or whatever, and when I was down there putting these away, I looked in the freezer and I can see that, you know, things are thinning out in there, and I noticed that the bologna was gone. And I had just seen it just the last time I was down there. I don't know when that was. It was a while ago, but it wasn't that long. And I wanted to bring it up, and I thought, no, because, you know, we've been eating hot dogs, and I try and space out the nitrates, right, with Andre, right? Yeah, no, I'm doing a video. And I'll just leave it for when I'm caught up. And I can enjoy my bologna that I bought on sale. Anyway, I go down there, I put the apples away, I look in the freezer, and I'm looking, and I'm like, where's the bologna? You know, because Andre went down there, and I don't know where you found the bacon. I think that was upstairs, either or, huh?
It was upstairs.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought maybe he brought it. So I come upstairs, I said, Andre, did you bring up the bologna? He says, no. It's downstairs. I said, no, it's not. He says, yes, it is. I said, no, it's not. Getting ready to fight over fucking bologna with my grandson. I'm saying, no, it's not. And he says, yes, it is. I just seen it 2 days ago when I brought up the milk. And I'm like, well, it's not there now. You go look, since you don't believe me. Right? Fuck. He goes down, comes back up, and he goes, you're right, Nana. The bologna's gone.
Yeah, because I thought it was down there, because I seen it down there 2 days ago.
I know, because I seen it down there a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. I've been saving it. I was going to make a nice meal with it or something. And have sandwiches with it. But he ate it. The point is he didn't tell me that he ate it. He just assumed that he could eat it and that I would have forgotten that it was even there, because he said to me in the past, oh, you don't even know what you got. Well, actually, I do. I do. And that's not the first time. Right? That's not the fucking first time. I'm telling you, people, when I leave, I don't think I can live with my son. No. Every day I'm angry over something dumb.
But they
we
themselves
started talking on about
see
Tisha.
how they're destroying
I tried to
their own
explain to him, there's no way I can
But they get this thrill.
chase after a toddler, walk another one to kindergarten, come home, do whatever, deal with Amari, then go get or send Andre, or still chase a toddler all day long. Like, fuck. And then sleep where? Where am I going to sleep?
That's why they don't want conservatives or Christians.
Right? Do whatever, do the dishes, do the fucking laundry in an environment I've never been in. Know nothing about. It's just a 2-bedroom apartment. Yeah, okay.
Because they want you to feel all alone. And they want to make the cool club Hollywood.
Right?
They want to make
It's
the cool
impossible.
club the New World Order.
So what does Andre do?
Club,
He goes out and he plays with his friends, he comes back and he can barely walk. He twisted his foot or something.
Badly.
It's like 3 days. And I'm the one going to get the apples from the apple tree, pushing a buggy by myself. Right?
No, at least you get to have fun.
I know you like doing it.
Yeah.
I like the end result after I'm done cooking
you
it.
wanted to do it too. You also wanted to be in it too.
No, I don't. Because I can't see. I have to feel for everything. But I suppose now that I'm doing it, yeah, it brings me back to the good old days, but I know you really enjoy it, so I'm more happy for you than me in there rubbing around with my hands. You know, I'm rubbing it. I can only feel it. I can't really see them. Oh, I can see them once in a little while, but not normally. But the point is like, you know, it's just stupid shit, man. He goes, well, you know, oh, I don't really want to get on because, you know, we'll start arguing. Because I told him what she said, right? You know, we better just drop it now before I side with Tisha. Yeah, easy for you to say. You know, why don't you fucking take on Amari for a whole damn week with him pooping and doing whatever and just whatever and whatever. And then go help your sister for a fucking week with Amari yet to boot. And then what if Andre would have busted up his ankle at Tisha's house? Yeah, because he was running down the hall to go chase Kyrie and he tripped. Yeah, okay. Right.
I don't want that to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not, you know, if I could see better, then maybe I could, if I was, you know, if I could see better, you know, if I wasn't feeling so tired, right, you know, or whatever, then yeah, maybe I could see it, but the way I am right now, it's enough. The only reason I know how to peel potatoes, apples, people, is because I raised 5 kids, for crying out loud. How many apples did you think I peeled in the past? Or potatoes or whatever. I could probably do this blind, seriously. See, I could do this blind. Yeah, I could feel it. I can fucking feel it. I know how to do it, even with eyesight. No eyesight. See, I told you. I did it. Did you see that? I'd like to see them do that. I missed a piece. And what I can see is just, like I said, I don't even know if I can do this next year. And I get cut up for this, people. He's rebelling. Right? He asked me why I bought Andre a new Nintendo. Because I bought Andre a new Nintendo, right? I said, well, first of all, Andre helps me out a lot. That's the first thing.
Nintendo Switch OLED.
Huh?
Nintendo Switch OLED. It has a better screen and it has better quality.
It has better quality,
And
better
good
screen.
graphics too.
And good graphics and
And good
everything.
speakers.
And good speakers. What it does is it breaks them away from this. It actually puts in front of a computer screen, I mean a TV screen, or he can hook it up to a computer. And he can learn to live stream and do all kinds of stuff, right? So, yeah. Right? Plus, just the fact that he's the one that helps me out with Amari all the time. And there's rules around it, though. If he starts arguing with me too much, because he'll just, and I'll tell him, back off, be quiet, go away, leave me alone. I said no. Go away, leave me alone, back off, no. And I said no. You know, and I'm like, holy fuck. I told him, that shit starts up under any circumstances. It's an automatic, you're grounded from the Nintendo for 1 week. Knock that shit out of him real fast, you watch and see. Look how beautiful that apple is, people. This one should...
Bosses at the back door.
Huh?
Follow bosses at the back door.
Yeah. Kate, leave me be. So, yeah, he's saying, I guess he figures I should go to Tisha's house and just suck it up. Yeah, okay. Easy for you to say. That's what I mean. My kids don't fucking care about me. They really don't. I gave Tisha food. You know, I give her little things. Well, I used to give Alea May quite a few things, and then she told me to stop because I guess Alea May has enough stuff. But, you know, I gave Kyrie this, Andre's, you know, those roll mat things. You unroll them and they've got, like, to drive cars and little gas station. And it's big, right? I don't even know if they make them anymore, people. You know, whatever. Never happy. Never happy. Can never give enough. This is why old people that own houses and all that shit, the older they get, the more the kids are drooling at the fucking bit for mom to die, dad to die, so they can get the fucking house. So they can get the money. They donate everything at the freaking thrift store, and then they sell the house, and they get the money. Seen it with my grandmother. Shit still goes on. Only I don't have a house to pillage. So I guess that's why I'm abused more so than other people who own houses. Because really, you got to look at it. I'm 61 years old. I'm going blind. It will be amazing if I can do any of this next year. But I'm not going to live with my son. No, I can't. I'm mad almost every day. I don't go poking around in his shit. Not even for a second. Nope, not even for a fucking second. He gets mad at me, and he's poking, doing whatever, and doesn't even say thank you. He never told me he took it, never said thank you, nothing. And when he feeds me, like gives me food or something, you know, it's not like he gives me full plates of food either, people. He really doesn't. Right? Once in a blue moon, maybe. But for the most part, no. Right? And that's assuming that I even want anything. Because if I don't want it, before I even know what it is, I just say no, that's okay. Because, you know. And I don't ask him to fucking feed Andre, that's for sure. Right? There's lots of food in the house. If I can't do it, I'm right here. Audrey can do it. Andre does what he wants sometimes when it comes to, you know, cooking or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate what my son does, but it doesn't mean that he has the right to just go and, you know, help himself when he wants without even saying, Mom, oh, by the way, I took the bologna just so that you know that, so that when you go down, if you're looking for it, I'll replace it. Yeah, okay. No, he won't replace it. I'm going to ask him to replace it, though. We'll see if he replaces it. It's because he wants that freezer, that's why. Right? He moved his girlfriend in, and all of a sudden I have to fucking move out. Yeah, well, you go ahead, kick your mother out. Yeah, that's pretty much what it fucking boils down to.
He's been there, he lives there, he's been there throughout the whole deal. Anyway. Come on and give an analysis of what really happened. We're not going to forget about the people of Lahaina, the people
Stupid.
of Maui, and we're going to go over all that.
So, yeah. Go to Tisha's house with Andre Amari. Andre does whatever he did to his ankle, and now he's laying on the floor right next to Tisha. Laying on the couch. As I'm running around chasing fucking toddlers. Yeah, okay. And then, everything will work itself out. A month will go by. Right? She'll call me up, and I've already babysat like 5 times before that happens. And I'll say, no, I can't. I'm tired. And the whole shit will start up all over again. Because that's what fucking happens. She'll want something, I'll say, no, I can't do it because of what... I hate that. You're a lousy mother. You're like, fuck off. Seriously, just fuck off. Young people, something wrong with them. There really is. Not all young people, but mine. Yeah. And like, I don't want to make excuses for them because of what happened to Uncle John, Sierra, you know, Shimei, Amari, what happened to Andre when they took him illegally, and just the whole psychological warfare and the drama and the trauma and the cortisol raging 24/7 year after year. And when it calms down, who goes missing next? John. Yeah, okay, Uncle John. And then Shimei gets murdered and the house cops cover it up. Like, yeah, okay. And then Sierra, right? No wonder why my kids are fucked up. Sorry, boo-booed up. Still no excuse though.
Slaves compared to China and these other nations that have taken away our jobs, taken away our technology. Trump challenged all of that.
Still no excuse.
If you challenge them on this stuff, if you challenge them on these policies they hold dear.
And then I think of my grandmother.
If you challenge them on their,
she took me up to heaven on the day she died. She said, come with me. I said, okay. I went up there. I said, what is this? She said, this is my new place. This is where I'm going to be. I said, oh, okay. And then she said, just remember this, Judy. When you come up, you don't have to live with your kids if you don't want to. You live with the ones that you want. That's what she told me. And then she said, you have to go back now. And I'll see you another time. Again, right? So, okay, I went back, I guess. Woke up in the morning, got a phone call, and was told that my grandmother had died that night. Go figure. That's the only thing that saves me, people. Because I know that when I die, I'm going to be with Shimei. Yeah, and Uncle John. And I don't know exactly where Sierra is because she caused a lot of fucking stress. But if she thinks she's going to cause stress to me in death, it ain't happening. Any more than this one, Tisha, or Brooks. Shimei was a different kind of stress. Shimei and Uncle John are just waiting for me. Okay? Seriously. That's what my kids make me feel like. My living ones. They're just pushing me to Shimei and Uncle John. That's all they're doing. With their ungratefulness, fucking abusive ways. Give me, and then call me selfish. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't go into your fridge and grab your fucking bologna or anything that's in your fridge. I don't even look in your fridge. But you obviously go into my fridge and help yourself when you want, because I notice things being moved around all the time in there, and shit surely, you know, slowly but surely disappearing like the bologna, just to keep me angry. Just to keep me fucking angry. Which means I can't fucking trust you for nothing. So if that's the case, why the fuck would I live with you in the next when I move? And in death. After I'm done, you won't come knocking on my door. Mom, let me in. I miss Auntie Shimei's fridge and I'm hungry. And fuck off. Go away.
Literally take dumps in the pool. They poison us with
well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah, well, it's your dad's tree that it fell from. And last time I checked, he abandoned you, never paid no fucking child support. So you're right, the apple doesn't fucking fall far from the tree. Because you sure enough fuck didn't take after me, that's for sure.
Pulling up and just filling whole pools full of crap, telling us it's crystal clear Caribbean water.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I'm just like, why do you think you get out of this yourself?
Anyway.
Why would you act like this? Why would you promote open
I can't get away from being angry all the time.
And all these
Nope.
drugs?
Well, not all the time.
Inherently evil, folks.
But too much.
Take one look. In fact, get me the
This is no way to live. I can't stand it already.
Grand jury cookball lady. Get the footage.
Only reason I didn't bring it up, people, the only reason I didn't bring it up when I was looking at it,
Gibbering and
Because I've been doing this shit with the meat. And I thought, no, just wait. It can sit. It's been there for a while now. Right? I bought 3 of them. 3 got used up. Whether he ate one, I don't remember. All I know is there was only 1 left. And I've been kind of savoring it. I know Andre wanted it. But I thought, no, just do what you got to do. Get it over with. And then after the fact, you can reward yourself with it. Because I refuse to pay $9 for a fucking chunk of piece of freaking bologna, okay? And that's what they're charging now, something like $9. That's why I bought 3 of them, because they were on sale after the whole section was wiped out. So I actually got lucky. But now my son fucking just took it upon himself to get spiteful and go in the fucking fridge and take it for himself and not even say thank you. Not even say thank you. And that's why I'm angry.
Because he's a loser.
That's why I'm angry. And you know what? I do believe that he watches my YouTube channel. I do. Or at least listens to them. Right? I ask him. He says he doesn't, but I don't believe him.
Go ahead and roll the clip of this.
Right? You know. He can lie, but he's not a very good liar.
I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I
don't really care.
And so I thought it'd be really
Suck
cool
it up.
to get 60
You're not a baby.
with President Trump, of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting
At least my life stood for fucking something.
I thought that would be an awesome moment.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to indict dozens
You know,
of other leaders that have nothing to do with
I was thinking, right?
made her feel powerful.
And I think about the non-profit and whatever and whatever and whatever, right? I'm thinking to sell the bass drum, right?
That's who we've got
Because, you
in
know,
charge.
chances of me doing another park event are nil to none. And I look back and, you know, and that's, you know, my kids hold it against me that I spent all this money on the community. The community never, you know, never, they took me for granted and every, you know, people, right? You know, just the whole 9 yards. So I guess that's what they learned, that other people could take advantage of me, not help, you know, not pay their fair share, not even contribute one red cent. You know, just take, for the most part, right, in terms of the adults, right? Not so much the kids, because his kids are kids, right? But, you know, when I'm like, okay, well, if I move to let's say I move to an apartment, you know, what would I do? Would I go back, like, to the good old days and start going out into the courtyard and being Mama Lynn and working on, you know, programs and art and music and painting rocks or snack, whatever I was doing a long time ago when I lived at Gateway Place while working on the foundation? Would I start that up again while all the parents are sitting up basically in their fucking houses, right, just letting me deal with 40 to 60 kids at a time by myself while they got a... Yeah, okay. No. Wasn't always like that, but for the most part it was.
Off the coast of our main military base there.
I wouldn't do it again. Because people are ungrateful. They take things for granted. As soon as you mention the word non-profit, right, they think everything's free. They don't have to contribute back. Just take. That's how my kids are.
Every major city.
So I guess you can say I kind of taught them that. Right?
Oh, but let's move up the coast.
I didn't mean to. That's not what I was trying to teach them. But that's the way society is. You see, that's the thing.
Cruise missiles, sea launch systems.
I don't know how other people deal with it, because I know it happens to other people. With their kids being, you know, over-expecting too much. You know, whining, crying, they're not getting enough. Right? Telling their parents they did a lousy fucking job because, you know, they're not, I don't know, inheriting $2 million. Or at least their share of a house after it sells. Cornmeal, raisins in jars, cornmeal in jars, right? Tang, big bag full, right? Shit like that.
They're drilling.
A few toys here and there. I guess that's just not enough, right? In terms of,
Launch the weapon. But don't worry, the FBI can swagger around machine guns and beat up American citizens.
Anyway,
Swagger around, they'll tell you.
I just won't.
Well, there's
I know what he wants. He wants that freezer for himself. So he's going out of his way to piss me off so I won't use it. Because it's nothing safe, right? He'll just eat it and won't tell me.
Three submarines are tasked to take out DC and Virginia.
And then if I say something, well, who knows what I'm going to get. Seriously, I don't know what I'm going to get when I fucking say something about it.
They will.
Well, you said I can eat stuff down there. Yeah, can jars, whatever, but... Okay, so I guess my battery ran out or something. I don't know. So before I get back to doing what I was doing, I'm going to just take a little interlude here for a second. And we're going to just listen to this dude. His name's Patrick, I don't know, Patrick somebody. Anyway, he's talking about thousands of troops on the streets, emergency declared. He's always doing an emergency. Anyway, leave right now, because he's saying leave the city. Well, I can't leave the city because I've got Amari. It's kind of impossible, right? Because, if he has a seizure or something, they're going to have flying a helicopter, and then they're going to send him up to some hospital. I won't be able to see him because whatever, and it ain't happening. Some of us are just stuck in the city. So in the meantime, he's talking about immigrants, right? Immigrants overtaking the United States of America, surely, but little by surely, because they're coming in, a lot of them, not all of them, many of them are coming through the New Mexico border, Ohio border, those kind of, I don't know, just all those border states, right? With Texas being a main hub, not to mention what comes in on the ocean yet, okay? And so what's happening right now is the governor of Texas can't cope with it, but they're also building camps out there, people. Andre, turn it down, please. They're also the government, right? The federal government with, their partner organized religion groups and, these nonprofits that benefit from funds from the government to facilitate what the government wants done, right? So anyway, they're like building these like migrant cities where there's like something like 2,000 people living in them, and they're warehousing adolescents and children in old Walmart facilities, and they're doing all kinds of crazy crap down there in Texas, right? So anyway, too many people, not enough resources. So, but they've been, these people have been jumping on a bus, jumping on a plane, just going wherever they want to go, disappearing into the masses of people, and, don't even show up for their court cases, a large majority of them. Besides that point, I guess the governor has been, more adamant to ship them out. And I guess New York is a main hub because that's where these immigrants want to go, and few other cities. But with the numbers coming in, especially in New York, where it's 10,000 a month of migrants, with the majority of them men, like I say, come to Canada where I live. It's the UN soldiers, people. Okay, demolitioning community after community after community, house after house after house after community, house after house after house after community. If they're not building their monster houses to move in their own families that come from other countries, namely India or China or maybe the United Emirates or someplace like that, right? Organized religion is organized religion. There's no specific religion that's organized because they're basically all organized, including the Catholics. Okay? I'm just saying. It's no different. It's no different. And that's why I'm discussing this right now. Because the only difference is, I guess the Democrats are squawking on about in New York, 10,000 immigrants coming in, mainly men, we can't house them, blah, blah, blah. They're spilling out into the streets, we're doing the best, costing so much money, taking away from the people because the people are balking at it, right? Blah, blah, blah. So I guess now some of these governors throughout the country are starting to call in the National Guard to help control the crime that's starting to go up, right? Because, you're dealing with, I don't want to say low IQ people, but for the majority of them, okay, they come from backward fucking countries with limited resources, limited education, and with poor role modeling when it comes to, being a respectable human being in society, right? A lot of these people, they come from gang-affiliated, infested freaking regions like Freddie. Freddie his mother brought him out here to get him away from whatever that was going on in Honduras or wherever he came from. And then, he got caught up with the drama out here, and they sent him back to go visit, his home country, and he not even there for however long, didn't even get a chance to come home before he got shot and was killed because of the bullshit that was going on in that country. Well, it's the same shit, right? These people coming in with their, MS-13 and this gang and that gang, and, they're hooking up with these non-profits that are facilitating illegal activity within the community because it's all money laundering and the underground economy and human trafficking in one way or another, or whatever the hell, illegal organ harvesting. Of course, nobody ever talks about that, but we know it's going on, people. We know it's going on because if it's happening in Canada, it's happening in the United States of America. Okay? So, in the meantime, let's just listen to this dude for a second. Because I gotta go back and do these apples. They're in the sink.
250 National Guard members, and they're going to dwelling units and housing units and hotels. These people are being housed in hotels and apartment complexes, Section 8 housing, all these different things are being...
Yeah, all these immigrants are being housed just like out here, right? Our government bringing in hundreds of thousands. Fuck the tens of thousands. They're bringing in hundreds of thousands, with a large majority of them going on federal subsidy, provincial subsidy, municipal subsidy, with the local not-for-profit charity or city offshoot of some sort of, well, we've got the Syrians moving in. We already housed 10,000 of them, but they're still coming. So there's a part of the city that will continue to house them before they will help to house families like mine. And that's why families like mine become targeted in the fray. Right? Right? Where the Syrian family that's coming in, they're not going to balk about, oh, well, let's just put 7 of them in a 2-bedroom main floor of a house, and, we'll give them all this money, and, yeah, and then let them know that it's just a matter of time that we'll help them buy a house, but they got to do what we say they got to do, and, and you already know that fucking Frenchie's working in the streets with his welfare check and his disability, but he's driving around on a moped slinging heroin, so they can get that fucking house, so they can sit there and say, well, we were an immigrant when we came here, and look at us, we got this beautiful house, but you got shit because you're just white trash. That's how it works. Okay? And if it's not the fucking Syrians, it's somebody else of a different breed. And if it's not that, you got the Eleanor Gildings, the Catholics, running around in the fucking hospital halls committing heinous crimes while the government's covering up because it stimulates the economy and it keeps the crooks happy in terms of bringing in those dead bodies and harvesting them and then repurposing them, using them for something else, feeding their fucking alligators with them. Who knows? But they're definitely utilizing them. Okay? So in the meantime, he's talking about how all the immigrants are flooding, New York and other cities, where at some point the governors, it's not the federal government who's calling in the National Guard. It's the governor saying, hold on, we need help here to control these people. Well, not in Canada, and that's the reason why I'm doing this, because that's not the way it works in Canada. It's like, wait your turn for the fucking bulldozer to come down, tear down the fucking house, and if you're in it too fucking bad, because you're out the door dead as a doornail, or you can die in the house, it doesn't matter, as long as you're gone. As long as you're gone. Because we're going to build either our monster homes so that we can purport to society how wealthy we are because we live in this fucking prefabricated monster home with a whole bunch of people stuffed inside, unless, of course, they got a lot more money where they can have their maid, who happens to be an immigrant, more than likely from Africa or someplace like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Or they'll build their stack and pack next generation of slums, so the ones that live in the monster homes can sustain themselves. Well, people like my family are on the run. Well, the people like the Caesareans and those kind of people, you know, coming in from Syria and Ukraine, and God knows where they're coming in from. They're coming in from everywhere, but India is a big one, and so is China, right? They're just taking over everything, people. And if they're not taking it over, they're destroying everything. They destroy the trees, they kill off the wildlife, right? They throw out the people out into the streets, you know? They harvest organs, literally, okay? It was a Punjabi who took out Shimei's organs and then tried to tell me that she was alive. I didn't know that at the time. That's what he did. But I figured it out, okay? And I'm going to work on proving it, right? I don't like to talk about this bullshit, but it's real. And it is. It's bullshit. So where's the National Garden? BC, British Columbia, Canada. Because just because the crime goes unnoticed, house after house after house, community after community after community gets demolished, while the people that lived in those houses get displaced and either end up dead or homeless or tucked away like a dirty secret in some old folks' home after they were illegally drugged and had their money taken from them as their family was basically destroyed to hide that truth? Where is the National Guard helping with those kind of crimes? Oh, it's white-collar crime. It's professional crime. It's the Catholics that commit the crime. And they're allowed in their religion at some point, somewhere in their Bible, where it says they can actually go around stealing stuff, and it's okay. Yeah, okay. Theft is theft is theft. Right? Okay? I'm just saying.
Taken over by these people that aren't even U.S. citizens, and now it's getting so bad, and these places are very chaotic as well. Okay, that's what's...
It's chaotic here too, people. I'm facing homelessness when I leave this house. I have been living in fucking fear for years and years and years because of the situation in this stupid, rotten country called Canada. Okay? Literally.
Being reported here, there is a lot of chaos, there's a lot of violence.
Like, seriously, that lawyer asked me, the one that was looking at Amari stuff, well, what's your thoughts on if you end up at the Sir Memorial Hospital? Well, I don't know. What do you think? They're gonna kill me. That's what they're gonna fucking do. Why wouldn't they? It doesn't benefit them to keep me alive. It didn't benefit them to help Sierra and keep her alive. It didn't benefit them to pronounce Shmay dead and say, gee, Miss Chorney, we need to investigate what happened to your daughter because she actually had a fucking bruise on her forehead. Okay? Right? We're not going to lie to you. Something bad happened to your daughter, and we need to find out how it happened, why it happened, and we need to stop it from happening to somebody else. But that's not how it works out here. So yeah, the government keeps bringing in more immigrants to put more pressure. And yeah, it will be an immigrant that will fucking kill me, or a Catholic, or perhaps Eleanor Gilding herself will show up at the door and do the job herself, because you already know she stole John's money, she got away with it, so she put a fucking hit on my family a long time ago. Where is the National Guard? Oh, well, no, we don't have that. We have the UN soldiers busting down house after house after house, ripping up tree after tree after tree, throwing out family after family after family, harvesting that body over there, running their drugs, running their prostitutes, stealing lives. Where is the National Guard? I don't even think Canada has that.
It's okay, people are being arrested.
This is petty shit. What he's talking about. I talk about the hardcore, fucking heavy duty, deep shit. The stuff that really stimulates the economy for those rich motherfuckers. Boo-boo fuckers!
Constantly, and police are constantly showing up. So they are deploying the military guards there to guard these people and watch them. And
oh yeah, well, the police out here just wait for the next body to fucking roll up. Oh, sorry, drop dead. Or be lured to their death. Be murdered. And then they just swoop in and capitalize off of the flesh.
Essentially have a military dwelling unit here with people that aren't even U.S. citizens. This is crazy that this is happening.
Yeah, this is crazy what's happening in British Columbia, Canada, too. I'm just waiting to be snuffed out. If it ain't gonna happen in the fucking hospital, it'll be when I leave this house because there won't be no place to go. And I won't be at the mercy of my son. You can guarantee that one. Or Tisha. I'd like Tisha to treat her friends the way she treats me and see how far she's gonna get with it. But you see, there's something wrong with this generation. They got corrupted with the cell phone. They don't like to listen to their parents unless, of course, they think they can get something. Then, of course, they'll stay quiet until they get what they want. And once they get it, then they're off and running. Yeah.
Happening in the United States, and it's crazy it's happening in New York City, okay? And the New York City mayor just came out as well, and he just said that this situation is going to, quote, destroy New York City. This is the mayor, Mayor Eric Adams, okay? And he was elected by the people of New York, and he's even saying that this policy, what's happening in our country, is going to destroy our country, right? And he's saying New York.
Well, not here. It's making the Punjabis rich. It's making the Chinese rich because they're the ones that are facilitating illegal organ harvesting right along with the fucking dirty-ass Catholics. And then bring in the Syrians, right? Because you know they're slanging that dope. I already seen that. I told you that a long time ago in a different video. Frenchie with his fucking maroon moped. As if I didn't recognize you. Yeah, okay. You don't speak French. You speak Syrian. And you just happen to end up next door after your Syrian friends moved in from Syria. Oh, yeah, okay. Go collect your little fucking welfare check. Right? You're disabled, but last time I checked, you're a able-bodied man that can walk around, drive a moped, slang dope, right? Be a kingpin, but you can't go to fucking work? Yeah, okay.
New York is being overrun by this situation, right? And Texas is being overrun. Arizona is being overrun.
Canada is being overrun by a bunch of fucking brown-nosers that like to commit crime.
All these southern states are being overrun right now as well.
And white people are stupid because they think they're in charge. Like Eleanor Gilding. I'm white. I've been working for the government for 45 years. I'm the manager of the provincial immunization program. So I have seniority. Yeah, I got 95% of the employees under me, either Punjabi, Chinese, Filipino, yeah, Fiji, Cambodian, yeah, it's just wherever. Syrian, Ukrainian, they're all below me. Yeah, right. Pretty soon you're going to be the last fucking white person standing. And when that happens, they'll be so bloodthirsty, they'll fucking gang up on you, and they'll make sure that you fucking die. Yeah, because they won't stop until you're dead. And that's pretty much what's going on. Yeah. So for as much as you think as a white person you're in fucking charge, it won't be long before you're standing there all by your stupid self. And you think they're going to listen to you then? Ha 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 ha. Oh, I know. The government will protect you. Oh, yeah. Just like they protect you now, right, Eleanor Gilding? Your name will go down in fucking history. Oh, I'm sorry. Boo-boo history. Yeah. You fine Catholic piece of shit.
Have too many people, and there's no...
So it's not about Punjabis, it's not about Chinese, it's not about the freaking Arabics, it's not about the Muslims and the Hindus and the Buddhists and whatever. It's about human, I don't know, people. Something's wrong with humans for a big part of the equation here. Seriously.
Where
I was blind to it when I was younger. It was better. It was better. But our governments have polluted our countries. That's what they've done. They brought in too many sophisticated criminals that use taxpayers' money to amass wealth for themselves so they can think that they're in a position of power until they're the last woman or man standing. While all the fucking brown nosers are licking their lips.
To put them, alright? So this is a engineered situation. This situation could be stopped.
Yeah, it's an engineered situation in British Columbia, Canada. House after house after house, community after community, tree after tree. Kill off all the birds, kill off all the fucking wildlife. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as you're making money. And it's not just build those stack and packs or build a monster home and stuff 25 people in it. It's harvest what comes from all that. Like Shimei. Like Sierra. Like Uncle John. As they injure the rest. And then we wonder why my kids are rank. Because they know. But they can't do anything about it. Right? So they internalize it, and it all spills out in my direction as if it was my fault. None of this shit's my fault. I didn't ask to have fucking 500,000 Punjabis move into the community so they can take it over and decimate my family. Basically, keep me on a merry-go-round that's just gonna come crashing down sooner than later. In other words, where am I going after this place? Nowhere. I moved in. My landlords owned this place for over 10 fucking years. Why I was in that yard for as long as I was, as hard as I did, I'll never understand it. Moved in, the fucking pipes were leaking, all the electric outlets were sparking. Fucking porch was rotten then. It's even more rotten now. And I wasted my life in a fucking yard that made me blind. And for what? To be tossed out like a rag. When they want to tear down the house. When they want to tear down the house. Oh, it won't be my landlords that will do it, but it will be their fucking cousins. And if it's not their cousins, it's their fucking uncles. Or if it's not their uncles, it's their long-lost aunt. And if it's not that, it's some great grandpa that happened to live till he was 250 fucking years old because he rubbed urine all over himself and it was a magic fucking potion that gave him eternal youth. Yeah, all right, that's right. That's why we got Dr. Barr fucking just ripping out organs from bodies being on roadkill with fentanyl while the cops are covering it up. Yeah, okay. You don't think this shit's not going on in the fucking United States of America? Damn rights. Damn rights. But at least they got the National Guard versus the UN soldiers with a impotent government and complete impotent limp dick government.
But They are encouraging it because they like having military National Guard troop units on the streets of America. Okay, that is the future that they want, is to have.
Exactly. Exactly. The last white person standing in Canada, eventually those chomping at the bit fucking zombies, brown nosers, whatever you want to call them, they'll just turn on themselves if they haven't already, to which I think they have. Because they're looking for the match. Shimei was matched with her blood type and everything before she even went into the hospital, people. She was a blood donor. They knew what her blood type was. She gave birth to Amari. They knew what her blood type was. Okay. They booked her for surgery within 7 hours of being taken out of this house. And then they had to rush with their little fake funky, oh, she's alive embalming process to cover the fact that she was actually dead. And that's what exposed them and gave them away. Okay, I know what an embalmed body looks like. Shimei was embalmed by 9 o'clock. And they took her out of here, out of the house on that day at about 11:15. Because they had already booked her in before she was even taken out of the house. You see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, bring in the boys, displace even more people, bring in the dysfunction, you know, because these are majority men. Oh, sure, they got the families coming in, because then it's more, you know, gaslighting. Oh, look, they got little kids. You know, you can't have them sleeping in a park. You know, they kick out the family that lived in that apartment for the last 20 years just so you can move in the fucking Syrians.
Have this police state where everything is tracked.
Or whoever is crossing over the border in the the Syrians, they don't have to go to Texas to get into a country like Canada or the United States. They just have to call up the premier and say, book me a flight, and the premier will say, no fucking problem. Yeah. Yeah. And since you're booking a flight, book in 8 and bring your whole family with you. And make plans to bring the rest of your family after we demolish and destroy a family so that we can give you some place to live. But we have to destroy another family first. Okay. But don't worry. We're not going to harass nobody that does that kind of shit, because we've got the UN soldiers picking up the fucking slack, and we've speeded up the process by fast-tracking permits to tear down even more houses, to kick out more families. Yeah. So that we can build the next generations of slums, so that the so-called wealthy in the province can live in their gated smart cities and feel safe until the last man is standing. It's like a domino. Not too many white people left in Canada as a collective compared to the so-called minority of brown-nosers that do as they're told because they know they won't be held to account when they commit crimes, whether they do it for themselves or whether they take it at the direction of an Eleanor Gilding or a dirty freaking cop. Corner government.
Traced and controlled because it's so bad, it's so apocalyptic, it's so dystopian, and there's not enough resources, there's not enough housing, there's not enough food to go around for
don't worry
everyone.
about the housing. You just have a high death toll. They'll blame it on fentanyl or something stupid like that. They'll victimize the victim twice, and then they'll just build the next generation of slums while a few will get rich off of it. Thinking that they're safe and they'll make it through the pearly gates of what? Living on the planet? Yeah, okay.
Have to have the military step in and take over. That's
anyway, you get my point. Okay, I'm going to finish this on this. I'm debating whether I should just let this camera charge and take it on when I'm doing the mango, because I'm not gonna like get too much into it, right? In terms of what do you call it? I'm canning applesauce with canned mango. Okay, so I don't want to go through the whole process other than just show you blip 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 blip, just so that you get the idea that if you want to do something like that, you'll be, oh yeah, I remember that. Right? Okay. Other than that, this video is getting kind of long. So anyway, you know I like to cruise New Nations Unity, or another one of these messed up young people that think they know everything. Okay, now you have to remember, if you don't know, this individual here had a hand in the murder of my daughter. It's not about proving, okay? It's about the timeline, okay? And about motive and patterns in terms of she likes to plant things, right? She likes to stalk people, right? She's still stalking me. That's the whole point here. If you notice, okay, it says no views, but she's actually gotten some views on this. But look what she's doing here. Don't tell me she's not looking for negative attention, okay? She's got nothing to say though, right? She's got nothing to say though, because she knows I'll just cut her up and call her out her bullshit crap, right? Look at this. Do you see? So 1, 2, 3. She didn't do it here, but she did it there. So basically what she's doing is she's running her little shorts. Okay, what is this? She's running her little shorts. She hasn't done a video for a while now. It's been 4 months. But she's poking the bear, right? Saying I'm coming for her. Yeah, okay. I'm coming for her. I'm telling you, this bitch stalks my yard. Okay? Her and her fucking friends. Okay? Right? It's that kind of generation. Right? There's something wrong with them. They're being influenced by their cell phones. They're being influenced by the computer. Right? But she's sitting good though, right? Because her mommy got a whole bunch of money after Shimei died with a fucking fake car accident. Okay. So, see? Oh well, she took out that there because she's trying to make it look like she's not stalking me. Okay. Alright? She's stalking me on the computer, and she's still stalking my fucking yard. Okay? I'm just saying, people. Alright? But you see, I got nothing to be ashamed of. Because these young people, I don't know. The only reason she's nice to her mom, if she's nice to her mom, is because, yeah, see, she's got 30 views on it, right? Is because her mom bought a house with blood money. Yeah, with blood money. Yeah. On the murder of my daughter. Okay, so anyway, I ain't sweating it. Honest to God. Do you see? Oh, this one's mango pulp. Well, actually, that will work fine too. Point is these cans are severely dented. That's the way they were sold to me. So I'm putting my apples in the pot. Okay. After that, I'm going to drain out the juice, more than likely, and then I'm going to put the pulp in with the apples. After the apples cook down a bit, I'm going to heat it up. I'm going to see what kind of consistency that I got. Okay. If I feel that I need a little bit of more liquid, I will add some of this, which is just, I think, water and sugar, which is fine for me. What does it say? I prefer that. Ingredients. 95% mango. Right? And then there's some sugar in there. And I think citric acid. I can't really see. I'm using my computer glasses right now, to which I really can't see anything. And then I'm just going to jar it up. That's what I'm going to do in the jars that I use for Amari. Either in salmon-sized jars, right, or the other half-pint size jar. Oh, you know what it looks like. And so I'm going to end this video now. And yeah.